take the injector off, we've got to start by taking the seat off, the plastic tank shrouds off, and take the fuel tank out the way. Three on top. So the fuel injector is actually there, hiding in there. So we got to get into there to undo the two screws to release the fuel injector, and we can take it off complete with the fuel line. We're not going to take the subframe off. We will have to manoeuvre this electrical ECU around a little bit so we can get a screwdriver in there. We'll remove this pipe, we can pull the electrical connector off, and then we can see if we can get it out. So first of all, like I say, we can manoeuvre this a little bit. It's hooked in there, but if we just lift it over a bit, we can get access in there. Let's pop this breather pipe off first, and then we'll pop the injector off. Let's try that. Again, the trusty long nose pliers. We can just get onto the clip, squeeze it, oh, get on there, and lift it up, and then use the screwdriver just to pry the tubo off. Come on, boy, you know what's good for you. Apparently he doesn't know what's good for him. Let's try doing the other end first. Again, it's just got a squash type clip holding it on, so we can just squash that, slide it back. Let's see if we can get this end off first, like so. Now let's try and get the other end off. Maybe if we use the long nose pliers this time and squeeze the pipe and wiggle it a bit. Come on, baby, you know what's good. Apparently not. It's going to need a bit of encouragement with a screwdriver, I think. There she goes. Wiggle. Okay, we got her. So that's the pipe we've taken off. It's just a breather pipe coming from the top of the cam cover going into the airbox. Right, next, let's pop the electrical connector off the injector. So if we can just squeeze it and lift it a little bit. Like so. And there is the plug-in connector from the injector. You can just tuck that out the way. Now we got to get these screws on the injector here, which is the tricky part. So we need a bit of help. With our little screwdriver. Hopefully we can get in there and undo it. Let's try. Make sure it's coming out. Just squeeze it in that space. This is where you gotta be. Oh, she's come undone. That's it. They get tight sometimes, and if they get tight, they can shear off. Well, not shear off, but round off very, very easily, and then they're impossible to get out. So you probably can't see nothing because my hands are in there. But trust me, we are getting the screw out. Here we go. Okay, our next magic tool is our magnetic pickup. We can get in there, just lift the screw out without dropping it on the floor. Into the metal tray again, so we don't lose it. That was the back one. Now we've got to get the front one, which is more difficult. Let me see if we can get an angle on it. I think we're going to have to use a spanner on the socket extension because there isn't enough room. Let me see what we got. Okay, we've got an 11mm socket that will go over the top of that extension, and we're going to get in there and see if we can undo that screw with this. Like I say, this is easier than taking the whole subframe apart, but it's still very, very tricky. We've got to be careful what we're doing so we don't drop things. Get in there, get in there, get in there. Okay. Let's try, see if we can get it without rounding it off. It's tight. My big hands got yes. We've loosened it off. Now we can see if we can just get in there and twiddle it with our fingers, which is never easy when you have big hands. So, as you can see, this is the filter, the Golan one, very fine. Let's open it up and just check what's inside there first, okay? It unscrews, two 19mm spanners, one on the bottom, one on the top, slide it in, and it unscrews. There we go, a little bit of fuel inside. Looks quite clean, not too bad. This is the filter there, it's very fine mesh filter. I wonder if we can just tap it out. There she goes. Clean up that gasoline. Very fine. Doesn't look too bad, but we'll give it a blast with some Carb Cleaner just to make sure. Filter, sandwich it back together, twist her back on, put her back up, one 19mm spanner on the bottom, one on the top, connect it up with the fuel pump and the injector. And the injector is tucked under here, but you should be able to see it spray. And look at that spray, look at that, beautiful spray, nice fine spray, consistent spray, perfect. Much better, I think that's really good. Yeah. The tube around it, so let's move it round to the top. You can't see what I'm doing unfortunately because it's bloody fiddly and that, so I'll just talk you through it, okay? Connector on top, press, click. If it don't go click, it's not on. One time I had a race and I put the fuel pipe on and it never went click. And halfway through this race, one other motorcycle hit the side of me and the fuel pipe come off and it went everywhere. If it doesn't go click, it's not on. Wiggle that a little bit, that's gone on the back. Now let's see if we can get the front on. On you get, boy, on you get. Went on a lot better than it come off. Let's get out on those pliers and get the clips over the end of it. Squash it up and slide the clip down. Like so. That's on. What about this end? Squash, where are you, squash? Right, let's start her up and see if we got any fuel leaks again. indicating over 110 kilometres an hour through the middle of straight bits back there. So she's pulling good, pulling strong, she's not misfiring at all. She's a lot of fun to ride. Hope you guys can hear me with the wind noise. But yeah, we're going to turn around now and go back to the workshop. We got a little bit of a fault leak from the front seal here, so we're going to give that a clean. But apart from that, she's ready to race.